So let's quickly walk through this guide that I've created so far. It's not ready for prime time. It is not finished, and I'm not going to publish it, generally, but you can get a peek at where we're going. So it's 5 pages, much shorter than my warrior guide, intentionally trying not to ramble quite so much. And I just it's again focused on playing a monk in the group, as a group setting as opposed to raid. It's not an expert guide because I'm a generalist. I'm not an expert. I play most classes in EverQuest to a limited degree of proficiency, but I don't have the expertise that your hardcore raiders are, the guys who just absolutely, this is the class they main, they know it inside and out. So I kind of lay out how I play a monk in a group setting. And, I call it 5 pages, but obviously 1 page is that cover, so it's 4 pages. I've tried to really simplify this. Maybe too much. And so there's the guide. Now let me show you my current monk setup. And I'm doing this partly because the previous time I did a video on the monk setup, somebody pointed out rightfully that it was hard to read the various hotkeys and stuff because I probably shrunk them down quite a bit. When I first start playing a class, I make my hotbars really large so I can find it. As I get familiar with it and I move more to using my keys instead of mousing around and hitting the hotbars, I shrink those hotbars down. Not sure how good I'm speaking today. I was exhausted. I'm getting a little too old for these long days down, but I'm catching up now. It's Saturday. So let me show you my current monk setup with my hotbars as large as I can make them. So hopefully they're visible. One is I do use the combat abilities window a lot with my monk. I use it to trigger my disciplines: Heel of Zagali, Speed Focus, Temporal Discipline, Iron Fist Discipline, Eye of the Storm, Earth Force Discipline, and Counterbalance Discipline. I don't trigger those via a hotbar. I trigger them separately. So I would hit, for instance, I'm going to start my burn. I would hit Heel of Zagali. That's active. And then I would hit number pad 1, which is the social key I have paired and use with Heel of Zagali, though I can use it at other times too. I can hit that if I think that something else has popped up. And I'll use Destructive Force. Here I use Focus Destructive Force. You can definitely use the AE version if you aren't working with somebody who's mezzing. Infusion of Thunder, Spire of the Sensei, Heron Stance, and my robe. So that's what I pair with Heel of Zagali. When that fades, I will typically hit Speed Focus Discipline, which is, these are my 2 primary burn disciplines. They do the most damage. They both do a lot of damage. Some people do speed first and then heal, and vice versa. Probably depends on what ADPS you have. That gets a little too complicated. So for speed, Infusion of Thunder, Spire, Reciprocal Form, Tiger Symmetry, and the robe. Now most of these are already going to be clicked with Heel of Zagali. But if a certain number of minutes have passed in between, it'll re-trigger them. So when speed goes, then of course I typically go to Terra Palm Discipline, Iron Fist Discipline, Eye of the Storm, which lasts a long time. If I'm tanking, a mob turns on me, I will switch to Earth Force Discipline. That's your primary tanking defensive discipline. It works very well it makes a monk far better than a rogue when it comes to having to tank mobs, especially multiple mobs. If that's down, you've always got counterblow discipline. And I will talk more about how to defend yourself. But first, let's finish up this hotbar number 1, which is, so number pad 1, number 2, these are my burn disciplines primarily. The others are just catch as catch can. Reciprocal form, 5-point palm, heron stance, ton pose stance, vehement rage. Now, some of these don't always stack with earlier things, but as they fade, you can trigger these with other disciplines and just rotate through them. And glyph, imitate death, always handy. So that's my hotbar number 1. I'm not really telling you how to play a monk now. I'm just showing you how I set up my monk. I do have the incipient guide, which is being worked on. It's a little embarrassing right now. I don't know that it's polished. And maybe I'm erring too much in trying to really pare this down. I was keeping the guide 5 pages. I even made a 1-page summary of the guide. Now, to engage a mob, I hit 1, which is my engaged key. That would be down here. X target 1 often would be group assist target for me. Stand, because I do a lot of feigning as a monk. This will mean that I stand up. If I feign, I can hit stand. I hit the engage key and I stand. Attack on, stance reactive, puts the mercenary reactive. This second key here, melee attack, that's just to give me a visual to make sure I am attacking when I think I'm attacking. Because we all know lag, or you hit the button a certain way, sometimes you're not triggering your attack and you'd rather not just stand there. Grappling strike, pull that mob closer to you if you're having a little problem with melee. That can be useful, especially when you are actually tanking by yourself or you're the main tank. We've got our monk epic. That gives me more hit points primarily, and it means my men will be a little more effective when I trigger that. Spirit Drinker's Coating, I cannot recommend this item enough. It turns you into a little mini Shadow Knight. With the amount of DPS you do from melee, you will regenerate a lot. It's really, really helpful. Get it. It's probably more valuable than the Monk Epic at this point, because the Monk Epic, long days, is not fantastic. Defy Death. Gives you more that you can absorb. It's helpful. This is, again, defensive stuff. Value is Undying Bravery. It's a little toy, but it gives you a little more, take some quick blows. Purify Body. Cure your magic, fire, cold, poison, disease, corruption spell. Very helpful. Armor of Experience. Silent Strikes. Kind of trash, but sure, why not? Feign Death. So this is my defensive hotbar. Offensive, defensive, and sort of utility stuff. Stop disc. I always throw in breather there in case my endurance is low. It'll trigger it automatically. I'm trying to remove the thought process to a certain extent. And stop disc is if you have to stop a disc. You've got Eye of the Storm going, and suddenly the tank falls, the mob turns to you, you stop disc, and you hit Earth Force Discipline. Now you are ready to tank that mob for a little while. And Swift Tails, Technique, Moment of Stillness, Convalescent, those are all additional endurance techniques that you can throw in. Intimidation, I trigger intimidation through my spam hotbar. So we'll get to that. It's on there, I guess, just to see it. Rage of Rolfrun. That's additional DPS. It would really go up here, but I'm kind of running out of room in my red offensive hotbar. Tiger Symmetry. That's triggered through my speed key. Tiger Symmetry. Chrono Projection. Cool. You know, it's your Eye of Zom type thing. If you're in a, say, one of the anniversary missions and you want to check and see if the mobs are up and you don't have a tracker, just do Eye of Zom, run through the dungeon, find it for you. You want to know where to go, you can do that. Then you can flop over there using Feign Death and just take out the individual mobs you need. And if you want to run a little bit faster, you got Blink. So there's utility hotbars. Now as we go to the next rows, they're becoming less and less useful, though I guess this one would be a useful one. This green bar here is my pulling bar. We've got Echo of Diversion, Distant Strike, Phantom Whisper, trash. Magnaforce, Moving Mountains, Dragon Force, Fists of Wu, Dragon Glyph, Summon Tribute, and Invisibility. And the invisibility is key thing, because that's one that, you know, as a monk, there's my invisibility. Sorry, guys. If I want to snare a mob, I have not got kick auto thing. This will switch me to auto skill kick. If I am running out of endurance, I don't use this very much. You can switch to auto skill Eagle Strike. Stun, if you need to stun, auto skill Round Kick on. You're not using any of these abilities normally. And then you've got Flying Kick and Tiger Kick. And if we look over here, Tiger Claw and Flying Kick. So those are just to give you additional things. Normally you're auto-skilling your two primaries. Devastating Assault, AoE ability. If you're raiding or with multiple monks, Blood Drinker's Conjunction. Tribute on, Trophy on, Tribute and Trophy off. Group say I was teaching someone Elder Dragon. I should probably not show you that because I was being humorous. Master's Aura, Storied Reflexes. So this is if you die, you want to rebuff. Spiders Bite Poison. Oh, there, Illusion Dark Elf. And all your little toys. Okay. And I don't even know if I need to, you know, active, passive, hide corpse, invite, set yourself up as the head honcho of the group quickly. Working with a real healer, you unblock your heals over time. You're working with a mercenary cleric, you block your heals over time. And this is my spam key. So I've got a ton of stuff on there. Drunken Monkey Style, Xanthi Whistle, Synergy, Fang, Flurry, Curse of 17 Facets, Precision Strike, Vigorous Shuriken, Two-Fingered Punch, Aureate Bane. I have no idea how to say that. Orate Bane if you happen to be working in TOB. Multi-bind, that triggers Intimidate. These guys all stack, so throw them in there unless endurance is an issue. And then Mend is triggered. So this is, I hit the P key for me. That I happen to set this up. However you set up your hotkeys. In my case, P is my spam key. F is whatever I want to put in there. And for me, it's Mend on a monk. And that's my kind of monk setup. I hope this was more visible. At least you'll see how I'm playing the monk. You saw that I am working on a guide. It isn't anything fantastic at the moment, but that's kind of the way I'm rolling with my monk right now. And I've been playing the rogue and the monk a lot. I like both classes. Whichever one I happen to be playing, I probably like more at the time. I have been disappointed, or I should say disappointed. My eyes have opened to how much better a monk tanks than a rogue. So that's it for guys. I am out of here. I'm going to be down in San Diego all next week, so won't be doing any posting, won't be making any videos. I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a good week.